So, who is this guy? What is this thing? Well, first of all, we'll go back. We'll find out a little bit that we can about him. We don't have a lot of information about him, but we have quite a bit, and the church has filled in for us and helped us out with this. First of all, he was an archangel. That means that he had archangel, arch above, he had archangel intelligence. What does that mean? Don't play checkers with him. Okay? His intelligence is so far above ours, don't even think about it. You will not beat this guy at a game of checkers. When Goethe writes Faust, the story of the man who makes a deal with the devil, he continually makes it clear to Faust that no matter what deal he makes, he always loses. Why? Because you can't outright. You really can't outthink an archangel intelligence. You can't do that. Now, what is his name? Naming is very important. You know that. Really, it is. We know something about someone when we know their name. What happens when the Jews in the Old Testament ask God his name, and he tells them? He said, I am he who am. The Jews are like out of their mind. Oh my God, it's him. It's him who was, is. Oh, jeepers. It's the one who's been around forever. So, tell me about this. What's his name? Oh, Lucifer's name, which is his name, Lucifer, it means son of dawn, or sometimes it's translated bearer of light. This really gives it, gives him a real special place. Son of dawn and bearer of light, it really associates him, in a sense, close to God. So at one point in existence, this being is close to God. This Lucifer, this son of dawn, is close to God. But something happens. And actually, I'd like to tell you, I'll call it a story about what happens. It's actually taken from mystical literature. It's private revelation, and you don't have to believe this. However, this was written in the 15th century, and popes have assigned imprimaturs to this, so that means that there really isn't anything in it that's against the teaching of the church. So you don't have to believe it, but nonetheless, the things that are in it are indeed something that the church would accept. So here's the story that Maria Agrada tells about Lucifer. God has just created this being, Lucifer, the son of dawn, an incredibly brilliant archangel. That's one of the ways the angels are divided, by intelligence. And this was an incredibly brilliant archangel. And God wants to share something with Lucifer. And he tells him in visions that someday I am going to create beings. They will be called human, and they will be dear to me. I will love them. But they will turn away from me. And I will not allow this to stay. As a matter of fact, I have a plan, and I'm going to redeem them. I'm going to send someone to become one of them. And Lucifer, this son of dawn, looks at God and says, "Send me." And God says, "Well, no, actually, I'm going to send part of myself, the Son. He will become human. He will enter humanity. And he will save them. But first, I have to create something in which he can become human. I need to create a being." And Lucifer says, "I will do that. Let me contain the divine." And God says, no, no, no. I have another idea. I'm actually going to create a being they will call Mary. And she, my most beautiful creation, will contain the divine. And when her time is finished on earth, she will come to heaven, and she will be the queen, and all will acknowledge her. And Lucifer says, I will not obey. He's an archangel, and he has to acknowledge a human being. Pride, arrogance, all of those things well up in him in an instant, and he's cast out. What does Christ say? I saw him and his legions fall and like lightning through the sky. And he is sent. And he is sent to the place of the demons, hell. Now, at that point, we find a little name change. He's still called Lucifer, but actually more likely we will find him referred to Satan. What is Satan? Satan is, a good translation is the opposer. Sometimes it's translated as defiler, but actually opposer is better. He is the opposer. To whom will he oppose? God, of course. Everything that God does and that God is, this being, Satan now, will oppose. It won't make any difference how beautiful, how wonderful, how lovely, how holy. Lucifer, Satan, will oppose it. He will try, actually, of course, to destroy anything that has to do with that beauty. Now, how can we understand him? And this is really a very important element, because it is important to understand him. And I think one of the most crucial, important elements in terms of understanding him is really that we understand this notion that he is a person. Now, I know we have a trouble with that, and it's true. It is difficult to try to get our mind around that. But understand that a person means individuality, a specialness, a uniqueness. There are really no other Satan. There is no other Lucifer. I want you to understand, he is not an undifferentiated spirit mass. That's baloney. He is a person, unique in many, many ways. You know the importance of this, and this is really something you have to think about, is this is important because persons can be intimate. We are human persons. He is a demonic person. He can be intimate with us. How many of you have ever been someplace and something were to happen, and what happens is that we dirty ourselves somehow? Okay, I know what happened. How about this one? The other day in my office, I'm seeing a patient, and there's a spider, and it goes on her, and she freaks out. She didn't want the spider on her. How about something on you that's like really terrible? Something really disgusting, like that snake that shows up on my side here every once in a while, and it's all around you. Imagine, you know how we feel? We feel like violated. Let me tell you, Satan can be intimate with you because he is a person. All right, we're going to take a break now. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back and continue to talk about Satan.